Christian apologist Wes Huff has dedicated much of his ministry to clearing up widespread misunderstandings about the Bible. In a world where Scripture is often dismissed or attacked without careful examination, Huff addresses 10 of the most common misconceptions he calls lies that many believe about the Bible. Through historical evidence, theological insight, and sound reasoning, Huff shows why these claims don't hold up under scrutiny. Let's walk through the 10 lies Wes Huff highlights and understand the real truth behind them. Lie number 1. The Bible has changed or become corrupt over time. Wes Huff points out that thousands of ancient manuscripts, far more than for any other ancient document, prove the Bible's text has been preserved remarkably well. While minor copying variations exist, they do not affect core doctrines. Huff explains that the consistency across manuscripts shows that the Bible has not been corrupted, but carefully transmitted over centuries. Number 2. The Bible is full of contradictions. Huff explains that what skeptics called contradictions are usually complementary differences, not real contradictions. Just like multiple eyewitnesses to an event, the slight variations in accounts actually confirm the reliability of the story rather than undermine it. He argues that if the Bible were fabricated, the accounts would be suspiciously identical. Number 3. The Bible supports slavery and other immoral practices. Huff clarifies that while the Bible acknowledges slavery as part of the ancient world, it regulates and restrains it in ways that planted the seeds for its abolition. Biblical slavery was nothing like modern race-based slavery today. In fact, Huff notes that Christian teachings about human dignity eventually led to slavery's downfall. Number 4. Jesus never claimed to be God. Wes Huff firmly refutes this by showing that Jesus repeatedly said and did things only God could do, forgiving sins, accepting worship, claiming divine names, and being charged with blasphemy by religious leaders. Huff stresses that Jesus' words and actions were clear claims to divinity in his cultural context. Number 5. The Bible is anti-science. Huff counters that the Bible and science are not at odds. He emphasizes that many founders of modern science were devout Christians, and that the Bible speaks to theological truths, not detailed scientific methods. Huff argues the Bible is consistent with major scientific discoveries like the beginning of the universe. Number 6. Jesus never existed as a historical figure. Huff highlights that no serious historian, Christian or otherwise, denies that Jesus existed. He points to early non-Christian sources like Josephus and Tacitus that confirm Jesus' historical presence. Huff stresses that the historical evidence for Jesus is stronger than for many figures we take for granted. Number 7. Bible teachings have been disproven by modern knowledge. According to Wes Huff, modern discoveries often reinforce rather than disprove biblical teachings. He shows that where science and history have advanced, they often align with biblical assumptions about human nature, morality, and even archaeological findings. Number 8. The Gospels are written too long after Jesus' life to be reliable. Huff explains the Gospel was written within the lifetime of eyewitnesses, an incredibly short gap by ancient historical standards. He notes that the oral culture of the first century Middle East ensures faithful transmission of important evidence and teachings, and eyewitnesses were still alive to correct false stories. Number 9. The Bible is just a myth or collection of fairy tales. Huff refutes this by pointing to the Bible's grounding in real historical events, people, and places, very unlike mythical or legendary literature. Archaeological discoveries continue to verify the Bible's historical claims, showing that it engages with reality, not fantasy. Number 10. The early church manipulated which books were included in the Bible for political reasons. Wes Huff stresses that the early church didn't invent the canon for political power. Instead, early Christians recognized certain books as authoritative because of their apostolic origin and consistency with the gospel message. Councils later formally affirm what Christians had already broadly accepted. Through careful historical and theological analysis, Wes Huff dismantles some of the most persistent lies about the Bible. His work shows that Scripture is not a corrupted myth, but a reliable and trustworthy record of God's interaction with humanity. As Wes Huff reminds us, an informed faith is a strong faith, and the Bible continues to stand firm against every new wave of doubt. Like this video if you find this video informative. Subscribe for more news.